Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to YAHAWAH, BaHashem YAHAWASHI, BaHashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught us this truth. Shalom to the mighty Akim and Akwab out there who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this final captivity. And today's topic is going to be entitled Laboring for the Most High. So let's get right into it. Isaiah chapter 58 from the top. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgression, and the house of Jacob their sin. Okay, so our duty in this truth is to let our people know what they're doing wrong. Correct them, basically. We're supposed to point out their error and correct them and show them the right way. Alright, that's their transgression against the Most High, not following after Him, following after these pagan holidays, Christmas, Halloween, and all this stuff like that. They're not. Those are all sins and going against the Most High. Alright. Verse 2. Yet they seek me daily and delight to know my ways. As a nation that did righteousness and forsook not the ordinance of their power, they ask of me the ordinances of justice. They take delight in approaching to Yahawah. Wherefore have we fasted, say they, and thou seest not? Wherefore have we afflicted our soul, and thou takest no knowledge? Behold, in the day of your fast ye find pleasure, and exact all your labors. Behold, ye fast for strife and debate, and to smite with the fist of wickedness. Ye shall not fast as ye do this day, to make your voice to be heard on high. Is it such a fast that I have chosen, a day for a man to afflict his soul? Is it to bow down his head as a bulrush, and to spread sackcloth and ashes under him? Wilt thou call this a fast and an acceptable day to the Most High? So basically, it's not doing so-called things like fasting, or doing what you want to do. You have to have the right intentions behind it. Okay, you can be preaching and teaching and fasting, like in this example, it's saying fasting. Okay, but you can't be fasting just to be spiteful, or like show offy and whatnot. It's not a proper fast. You have to have the right intentions behind it. All right, because are you intending to offer up an improper fast to the Most High? Like you can't expect Him to accept that type of fast. All right. Moving on to the next one. Isaiah chapter 55, verse 6. Seek ye the Lord while He may be found. Call ye upon Him while He is near. Let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts, and let him return unto the Most High, and He will have mercy upon him, and to our power, for He will abundantly pardon. Okay, so as I was saying, we have to let the lost sheep know their error so they can come into this truth. All right. So with that, they have their opportunity now, literally now, as while this truth is able to be received, to come into this truth. All right. Let them abandon their way and not only come into this truth, but do their part to bring others into this truth as well. Because until all the elect are sealed, until we are being delivered, we still have our own duty as individualites to teach each and other Israelites that are not in this truth. All right. Verse 8, for my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Most High. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. Okay, so the Most High is superior, basically, in every way conceivable. Verse 10, for as the rain cometh down and the snow from heaven, and returneth not thither, but watereth the earth, and maketh it bring forth and bud, that it may give seed to the sower and bread to the eater. Okay, so Slakia. So basically, you have to understand that during our labor, you have to understand that the intentions behind it, not only just the intentions behind it, but basically the purpose behind it, it has to be for the Most High, or is the Most High's grand plan. Not, oh, I'm going to do this so I can get some clout or whatever, or be recognized in the Israelite community and whatnot. It's not. Watch out for what you're doing and why you're doing it. Take a step back and examine yourself. All right. And basically, as I read in verse 10, we are to plant the seed. All right, to plant the seed of the truth into other Israelites, and it's the by the discretion of the Most High to water the seed and allow it to grow. All right, it's not by our will. It's not like, oh, we continuously work on this one person that we really want to come into this truth. If the Most High will allow them, if the Most High will give that person understanding, then they will come into this truth. It's your job is to sow that seed, and afterwards the Most High will either let it grow or keep it keep it dead or something, or verse 11, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. Okay, so now you have to understand that the labor that we do, it's not going to be void. The labor through the will and power of the Most High is not for nothing. Okay, anything the Most High sets up to happen, or to to happen, I believe, is like the best way to say it. It's not going to be for nothing. It's not going to be for naught. There's a greater purpose to everything. All right. So Mark, I'm going to be skipping around in this. Mark chapter 4, verse 3. Hearken, behold, there went out a sower to sow. That's, sower to sow. Verse 4. And it came to pass, as he sowed, some fell by the wayside, and the fowls of the air came and devoured it up. And some fell by stony ground, where it had not much earth, and immediately it sprang up, because it had no depth of earth. All right. Okay. Yeah. So basically, this is So this is a parable. Let me go back to Mark chapter 4, verse 2. And he taught them many things by parables, and said unto them in his doctrine. Okay, so this is a parable. A sower sowed a seed. Okay, and it came by the wayside. Some fell by the wayside, and the fowls of the air came and devoured it up. So you sow a seed, and the fowls, birds, came and took the seeds. Okay. Verse 5. Some fell on stony ground where it had not much earth, and immediately it sprang up because it had no depth of earth. So it fell on stony ground, and it didn't have much earth. It didn't have soil or a proper foundation to grow in. Verse 6. But when the sun was up, it was scorched, and because it had no root, it withered away. Okay, so it, like I said, it didn't have a foundation, it didn't have a root, so it just died. It couldn't grow. Verse 7. And some fell among thorns, and when the thorns grew up and choked it, and it yielded no fruit. So something such as thorns prevented it from growing, or slakia, prevented it from being able to bear fruit. Verse 8. And other fell on good ground, and did yield fruit that sprang up and increased, and brought forth some 30, slakia, and some 60, and some 100. Now this seed, it did grow, and it bore fruit. Now basically what this is a parable to, it's Israelites teaching, coming into this truth, and then planting a seed of this truth, and that seed being able to either grow and bear fruit. Now, firstly, the seed is planting in the seed represents a brother learning about the doctrine. Okay, so with that seed, if they choose to not go in and learn more about it, then that seed just dies. It doesn't grow. Nothing happens. It just died. Okay. That's one way. The second way is when a seed is planted, but the fowls came and took the seed. That represents Esau, for one, because we all know how Esau represents the eagle. America has the bald eagle as their a mascot, or whatever the word is, national bird or something like that, the bald eagle. So that's another parable or analogy to it. We say, for example, I tell a brother about this truth, and then Esau comes and then tells him, oh, he's wrong, blah blah blah, and then he doesn't. That brother that just learned it, he listens to the Edomite that told him it was wrong, and then that's where the fowl comes and takes the seed away. All right. And then the next one is the thorns. So the thorns, like you teach a brother, but that brother actually comes into this truth, but because of the thorns, that could represent whatever inability to teach or something like that, or just doesn't have the resources, or whatever the reason, that represents them being unable to bear fruit, because the seed grew, but it couldn't bear fruit. All right. And then of course the last one is a brother learning about this truth, being built up in the spirit, and then actually going out to teach other brothers. All right, and that's in verse 8, where the seed fell into a good ground. It yielded, it grew, it yielded fruit, and the fruit was plentiful. It was a lot. All right, so that's what that means. All right, like that's the parable of the seed. All right, and if we jump down to verse 13, and he said unto them, know ye not this parable? And how then will ye know all parables? The sower soweth the word, and these are they by the wayside, where the word is sown. But when they have heard, Satan cometh immediately and taketh away the word that was sown in their hearts. So like I was saying, that's just, the fowls is just one of the example, but there are multiple other reasons to multiple other ways that a brother could be built up in the spirit, and still Satan can come and ruin the word in some way, shape, or form. All right. Verse 16. Yeah, verse 16. And these are they likewise which are sown on stony ground, who, when they have heard the word, immediately receive it with gladness, and they have no root in themselves, and so endure but for a time. Afterward, when affliction and persecution ariseth for the word's sake, immediately they are offended. So that's one that I did not go into. Someone could be built up in this truth, but when it actually comes time to be an Israelite, then they don't want the problems. They're not ready for it. They're not spiritually strong for it. They just cave in to the hardships. All right. Verse 18, and these are they which are sown among thorns, such as hear the word, and the cares of this world, and the deceitfulness of riches and the lust of other things entering in, choke the word, and it becometh unfruitful. So basically you're in it for the wrong reasons. A lot of jakes come in for the wrong reasons, and then they get sidetracked, and then they just basically they don't do what they're supposed to do in this truth. All right. Sakya. Verse 20. And these are they which are sown on good ground, such as hear the word and receive it, and bring forth fruit, some 30-fold, and some 60, and some 100. And that's where, again, a brother that's actually in this truth gets built up in the spirit and stays true, holds true, stays steadfast, is teaching other brethren as well. All right. And jumping on to verse 24, and he said unto them, take heed what ye hear. With what measures ye meet, it shall be measured to you, and unto you that hear shall more be given. Slakia. Verse 25, for he that hath, to him shall be given, but he that hath not, from him shall be taken even that which he hath. All right. So, this is in the aspect of the talents, like the parable with the servants that were given talents. All right, and the servant with many talents was given more responsibility. All right, and with all the responsibility that he had, because he fulfilled all his responsibilities, he was rewarded a lot. But the servant with only one talent, with little responsibility, they were lazy. They didn't do what they were supposed to do. So the one thing that he did have that was taken away from him, and that's the same. That's where this comes in. If you only have a little to do, you better do it. If you have a lot to do, you got to do it as well, because the fact that you were given a lot of responsibilities just goes to show how much the Most High, not only how much the Most High has blessed you, but how much you have to do. If you have a lot, you have to do a lot. All right. What was I? Verse 25, verse 26. And he said, so the kingdom of Yahweh, as if a man should cast seed into the ground, and should sleep and rise night and day, and the seed should spring and grow up, he knoweth not how. For the earth bringeth forth fruit of herself, first the blade, then the ear, after that the full corn of ear. But when the fruit is brought forth, immediately he putteth the sickle, because the harvest is come. Okay, so the kingdom of heaven is like a man putting seed into the ground. The 1/3 are all the seeds being planted into the ground. And well, no, Slakia, let me better phrase this. Israelites are the seed, and whichever seed grows, that's the 1/3, and then the sickle is our deliverance. All right, so I think that's a beautiful parable. So like I said, so the sickle is our deliverance. That's when the time has come, the harvest has come. That the fruit, that's the fruit, the seed grew and bore fruit. All right. Verse 30. And he said, whereunto shall we liken the kingdom of Yahweh? Or with what comparison shall we compare it? It is like a grain of mustard seed, which when it is sown in the earth, is less than all the seeds that be in the earth. But when it is sown, it groweth up and becometh greater than all herbs, and shooteth out great branches, so that the fowls of the air may lodge under the shadow of it. So initially, the mustard seed is the truth. So just basically the concept of this truth. That's what the mustard seed represents. But then when you put it in the earth and you tend to it and try to make it, and you tend to it so that it grows, like it says in verse 32, but when it is sown, it groweth up and becometh greater than all herbs, and shooteth out great branches. So it's a big tree. All right, it's a big tree. It's so big that the fowls of the air may lodge under the shadow of it. So it symbolically, it represents while we are first coming into this truth, that seed that represents us, it's us. We're basically something minuscule. But then as time goes on and we're putting in work to this truth, and we grow in this truth, and we're being built up spiritually, we're going to be great. We're going to be great. We're going to be I guess big, symbolically big, like that, a big tree. All right. That's the labor. That's where we put in that labor. Luke chapter 12 verse 43. Blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing. Basically, blessed is the servant whom. So if we're supposed to be the servant, and our Lord is the Most High. The Most High comes and sees us putting in this work, we're gonna be blessed for it, because we don't know when the Most High is gonna send YAHAWASHI to deliver us. We don't know when we're gonna be delivered. We don't know when YAHAWASHI is gonna come and all this stuff like that. So we have to be constantly doing the work, because we never know when he's gonna come. All right. Verse 44, of a truth I say unto you, that he will make him ruler over all that he hath. But if that servant say in his heart, my Lord delayeth his coming, and shall begin to beat the men servants and maidens, and to eat and drink, and to be drunken, the Lord of that servant will come in a day when he looketh not for him, and at an hour when he is not aware, and will cut him asunder, and will appoint him his portion with the unbelievers. Okay, so you can't be thinking that, oh, it's because we don't know the time of YAHAWASHI's return. We can't say, oh, the Most High is taking forever. So because the Most High is taking forever, I'm gonna go in the world. All right, I'm gonna do what's the word? I'm gonna do me. That's basically what the mindset that they take up. You can't have that mindset, because of the simple fact that you don't know when YAHAWASHI could return, which it could be today, it could be tomorrow, it could be 50 years from now, Yahweh forbid. You have to, because you don't know, it could be any minute now. You have to be constantly doing the work, because he could come at a moment's notice. All right, but you're not gonna know until he actually comes. All right, and also just thinking that the Most High is delaying his coming, and you choose to go back into the world, and then the Most High catches you. YAHAWASHI returns, and he sees you not in this world, you're going to be destroyed. All right. Verse 47, and that servant which knew his Lord's will, and prepared himself, and prepared not himself, neither did according to his will, shall be beaten with many stripes. Verse 48, but he that knew not, and did commit things worthy of stripes, shall be beaten with few stripes. For unto whomsoever much is given, of him shall be much required. And to whom men have committed much, of him they will ask the more. So like I said, if you have more responsibilities, you are required to do more. Okay, but and at the beginning of verse 48, if you just didn't know, you still are accountable for your actions. You still need to, because the Most High is not going to the Most High Yahweh was not going to send YAHAWASHI without the whole world knowing about this truth. Okay, so you're gonna be given opportunity to know, but it's gonna be your choice to actually put in the work to learn and build yourself up. All right. Now Luke chapter 14 verse 12, then said he also to him that bade him, when thou makest a dinner or a supper, when thou makest a dinner or a supper, call not thy friends, nor thy brethren, neither thy kinsmen, nor thy rich neighbors, lest they also bid thee again, and recompense be made thee. But when thou makest a feast, call the poor, the maimed, the lame, the blind, and thou shalt be blessed, for they cannot recompense thee, for thou shalt be recompensed at the resurrection of the just. So this is a spiritual dinner. Like you want to don't try to share your knowledge with brothers that are already in this truth. All right. Well, yes, it is good to share a little something here and there with some brothers. It's not. It's not the. It's not optimal, or it's not the best thing to do. All right, because if you try to teach someone that's not in this truth, if you try to teach someone that's not in this truth and actually needs the tutoring, the spiritual tutoring, then they can't recompense you. They can't pay you back for it. The Most High, because they can't pay you back for it, the Most High is going to pay you back for them. He's going to spot them because they're not able to do it because they're not as knowledgeable. All right, it's a give and take type of thing. You put in the work you're putting in work, you're going to be rewarded for it. All right, that's the labor. And now Luke chapter 12, verse 13. And one of the company said unto him, Master, speak to my brother, that he divide the inheritance with me. And he said unto him, Man, who made me a judge or a divider over you? So they're talking to a man is talking to YAHAWASHI about some inheritance. Verse 15. And he said unto them, Take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesseth. And he spake a parable unto them, saying, The ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully. So, firstly, YAHAWASHI is saying, don't worry about carnal things. Don't think about building yourself up, building up your own personal kingdom in the world. All right, it's man, your life is not dependent on the things that you have. All right. So reading 16 once more, and he spake a parable unto them, saying, The ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully. And he, verse 17, and he thought within himself, saying, What shall I do? Because I have no room where to bestow my fruits. And he said, This will I do. I will pull down my barns and build greater, and there will I bestow all my fruits and my goods. And I will say to my soul, soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry. All right. So thinking, the man in the parable is trying to set himself up for, having a lot of food for a long period of time. But the thing with that is he's worried about is the carnal side of things. All right. He's saying, like in verse 19, it's saying, I will say to my soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry. He's going to think that, I'm going to have an easy life for a good amount of years because I prepared an abundance of things. Verse 20, but we're going to go into that in verse 20. But Yahweh said unto him, Thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then who shall those things be which thou hast provided? So is he that layeth up treasure for himself and is not rich towards Yahweh. So he prepared a bunch of food for many years, but the Most High killed him as soon as he was done building up all that resources, all those resources. So he was rich carnally, but he wasn't rich spiritually. All right. So the conclusion to this the conclusion to this video that I wanted to bring out was don't worry about things carnally. Don't worry about things carnally. Build yourself up spiritually, and you build yourself up spiritually by doing the spiritual work, which is trying to bring out this word, trying to bring in the lost sheep into this truth. All right, and with the putting out this word, you're doing the labor that you're doing. You're going to be rewarded or paid by the Most High Yahweh. So that's where you're going to be rich spiritually instead of being rich carnally. All right. So with that, I hope this lesson was edifying. With that, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahawah, Bahashem, YAHAWASHI, Bahashem, RICANS. And with that, I want to say Shalom.